Let's be honest. Every woman, at least once in her life, has wondered, do men actually care about knowing who I am, or do they only care about what they can get from me? It usually hits in the quiet moments, after a date that felt rehearsed, a relationship that felt one-sided, or a conversation where you realized he asked nothing about you. Not your thoughts, not your feelings, not your world. Just surface-level stuff. Just enough to keep things convenient. But here's the twist. Most women assume they're alone in feeling this. They're not. What you're feeling is a pattern, one that many never talk about openly. So let's talk about it. Why some men only get to know you on the surface. From what many women experience, there's a certain type of man who is interested, but only in a controlled, curated version of you. The version that fits his plans, his desires, his timeline. He'll ask just enough to get close, but never enough to truly understand you. He'll learn your favorite color, your favorite flower, where you grew up. But the moment the conversation shifts from facts to feelings, he retreats. Not because he dislikes you, but because genuine emotional intimacy requires effort, vulnerability, and patience. And a lot of men have been conditioned to avoid all three. To them, getting to know you means collecting just enough details to play the romantic role until they've gotten whatever it is they came for. Then they drift. Not dramatically, not violently, just quietly, because they were never truly invested in the deeper layers in the first place. Friendships with men, and where the wall appears. Now, let's talk about platonic friendships with men. Many women notice the same emotional pattern here, too. There's a ceiling. He'll hang out with you. He'll laugh with you. He'll go hiking, grab food, go to events. But the moment the friendship requires emotional presence, not entertainment, he checks out. He doesn't ask about your dating life. He doesn't follow up on your worries. He doesn't remember the small things you shared. And it isn't always intentional. Some men just don't know how to go deeper without feeling like they're overstepping or risking vulnerability. So they stop before the connection becomes real. But the rare men who do open up, they're different. You feel it instantly. They listen. They share. They genuinely want to know who you are beneath the surface. And those connections, those few men, are why many women still hold on to hope, because those men exist, just not in the majority. Boyfriends and the illusion of interest. Here's where it gets complicated and painfully relatable. Sometimes a boyfriend will seem deeply interested in getting to know you, but not out of emotional commitment. Often, the intimacy you give physically becomes the exchange that keeps everything running smoothly. As long as the relationship meets his needs, he may not even notice he never learned yours. As long as he's being listened to, he might not notice he rarely listens back. As long as he feels connected, he may never ask if you feel it too. That's the hardest part. Many women are left emotionally starving in relationships where the man thinks everything is perfectly fine because his needs are being met and yours are being overlooked. Not out of malice, but out of emotional autopilot. And yes, some men pretend to be emotionally attentive in the beginning. They mirror your energy.
They ask deeper questions.
They give you a window into what feels like emotional connection. But the moment they feel comfortable, the effort fades. The curiosity disappears, the relationship becomes routine, and you're left wondering what changed. So, do men actually want to get to know a woman? The truth, the honest, unfiltered truth, is this. Some do. Some men crave emotional intimacy. Some want to know your thoughts, your fears, your childhood stories, your dreams, your contradictions, your softness, your strength. Some men find your mind just as attractive as your body. Some value conversations, not just convenience. Some listen because they genuinely care, not because they're waiting for their turn to speak. But those men, they're not the majority. Not because most men are bad, but because many were raised without emotional education, without softness, without vulnerability, without the language of connection. So they love in the only way they know how, through action, presence, routine, not through curiosity. The conclusion no one talks about. Yes, there are men who genuinely want to know a woman beyond her surface, but they are not always the loudest or the most charming or the easiest to spot. They're the ones who pay attention, the ones who ask follow-up questions, the ones who remember what you said 3 months ago, the ones who make emotional space instead of taking it. They're the ones who don't skip steps, who don't rush intimacy, who don't get intimidated by depth. And when you meet a man like that, you'll know. Because for the first time, you won't feel like you're performing to be understood. You'll simply be, and he'll meet you there.